Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode number 206. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
And how are you, my friend? How was your week?
My week is pretty much the same as every week. Busy.
Good. So
yeah,
it's the same
busy.
thing we do?
Work is always busy.
Which is good.
As you know.
Keeps you young.
Yeah, exactly. And it's still Tuesday.
It always will be for a long time.
It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's just wake up every morning and it's still election day.
It's election day. Again.
As
long as you all went out and voted. That's all that matters.
That's right. The important thing is you voted.
Yes.
And now we'll find out in like 3 months when they're done counting.
And to think there may be... Actually, you know what's funny? And we're not going to go into any political things.
No, we're not
doing
that part.
But I wonder how many listeners we have truly remember the 2000, which also took like till January. And we discovered what the little punch hole thing is called, that they don't even use anymore.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it.
The Chad.
The Chad. Oh, that's right. The
Chads.
The Chads.
Oh, Florida.
I live there.
So we'll see what, no matter what happens in the world, we will always bring you fun, entertaining, rousing discussions about old video games that we somewhat remember or slowly probably forgetting.
Yes. And we don't have to tabulate votes on them either. So
no, but we do still have a contest we got to figure out.
At some point, we'll get back to it. I swear. It's like I have so many games at the ready that I want to start streaming to play, or streaming or just play and beat them. That it's like they're right here. They're literally within my reach, right here.
You know what's
but I did start one.
Oh, what'd you start?
Thankfully, I had to take my car. Well, I had to take my car in for like an oil change yesterday. So
okay.
and that usually takes like an hour or something. So I'm like, ooh, what am I going to bring with me? I'm like, oh, I haven't turned on my Switch in like forever. So I took my Switch with me and I'm like, oh, okay, what should I play? And I'm like, I haven't opened Super Mario 3D All-Stars yet. So
wow, you're just getting to that.
Yeah. My life.
Get it.
Yep. So I finally cracked that open and started Super Mario Sunshine for the first time because I've never played it.
Okay. Thoughts?
Weird.
After this,
not weird story-wise, but I think it's the first Mario game I'm struggling with the controls.
It does take use of, that flood water gun does take a little use.
Yeah, aiming that thing sucks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So it's just going to take me some time to figure that out. But otherwise, like, it's just like any Mario game. I think it looks like it's a suitable follow-up to Super Mario 64, which it was. And I think it'll be fun to get through. And on top of that, if I actually stick with it and play through it all the way, I can add it to the contest list of retro games completed.
You can actually add that and Galaxy.
Yes, and Galaxy. If I smoothly transition over to Galaxy, one step at a time. This is somebody who waited 5 years for Final Fantasy VII Remake and is still playing it.
This is true.
When everybody else beat it in like 2 days.
Those are and
I don't believe in that.
Yeah, no knock at them. Well, maybe a little knock at them, but like streamers, like I don't want to watch a brand new game streamed day one. You know what I mean? It's like I want to be able to experience it. All right, fine. I get it, like an old game, and I know Final Fantasy VII is technically an old game, but still,
not the remake.
It's something about just streaming it, or even before, like with the Switch. Remember, the Switch is region free, so I have set up, which at this point I really don't know why I did it. I think I just did it just because I could. I set up an account so I can access the Japanese eShop.
Right.
On the Switch. So technically you can get a lot of the games the day before in our time zone. And that I see a lot. Like I'll see a lot of people stream a brand new Switch game literally 24 hours before it's released here in the US because they're playing the Japanese version. Yeah. And I'm like, let me experience it. But again, that's me.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and I don't see a problem with that at all. I'm like, if that's what somebody's thing is, and if gamers just enjoy watching somebody stream it day one, hey, more power to you. For me, it's like it's one of those things where it's like, especially like Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think I've said this before. It's like I waited 5 years for it from when they first announced it.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to plow through it in 3 days and then just move on. It's like I enjoy playing it for a little while, taking a break, going back to it, not with too much distance in between, or else you start to forget what you did.
No, that's my problem with a lot of RPGs.
Yeah. So yeah, and you know what, with Final Fantasy VII, because I played the original, I already know that I know enough of the story, so it's like it's fine.
You have a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. But I just want to take my time with it, because then it feels like it was worth the wait to me.
Okay.
As opposed to playing something and then like 2 days later you're like, oh, that's it, I'm done. Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
I waited 5 years to play this for 2 days.
Which I totally get.
Which we all have our, preferences.
We do.
I did complete another game this week, though.
Did you really? Are we putting it on the list?
No,
we are not. Okay.
List, unfortunately, no. It's a PS4 game, but it's the text-based game I told you about.
Oh, yes.
428 Shibuya Scramble. I finally got to an ending.
An ending, maybe not the ending.
Yeah, and then of course it's like, you completed the normal ending, and I'm like, God damn it! I'm not going back through it for the definitive ending. So, for all intents and purposes, completed.
And actually, with that being said, again, not part of the list, but I completed last night. I was up to about 3:00 in the morning. I don't know why. Because I downloaded on the Switch the Angry Video Game Nerd 1 and 2. Because he has a video game, and they're both really good games, actually. Okay. Very fun platformers. If you watch AVGN videos, it all flows with the series, and you recognize a lot of stuff. I highly recommend it. They have the 1 and 2 deluxe, so you get both games.
On which console?
Switch and Steam.
Oh, cool.
The first game originally came out like on the Wii U and a bunch of systems, actually. But I beat the first one, I beat the second one, and it unlocks a third one. And when I beat the second one, again, in AVGN fashion, they're like, now go back, you lazy bum. And, try and beat it on a harder level or something like that.
Nice.
It's pretty fun.
That's awesome.
But still, technically, I beat them, and they were fun games. Easy.
That might be worth
easier.
That might be worth the play.
Oh, I highly recommend those two games, actually. Very good platformers.
I did just download something new, too. It was on sale. The company that created Fall Guys, which is very popular right now.
Okay, yeah.
They made a kind of like, I don't know if it's a horror one, but it's kind of like a throwback anthology kind of game called Stories Untold. Ooh. So it's like 3 or 4 different stories, and it's like a combination of like, I think it's like a combination of like text-based, point and click, and a couple of other things to it.
Okay.
So, yeah, and it was on sale. It was like, I think it was like $6. So I was like, all right, I'm going to grab this. I go, because again, it's kind of my style.
Yeah.
Like, not my style, but I like playing those kind of games. But I think it's also a little more horror based as well, which is right up my alley.
That is up your alley.
so I downloaded that. I'm going to try and give that a go this week to see how that is.
All right. Well, definitely let us know how that goes.
I shall.
That sounds interesting.
And then the other thing of note on my end this week is I had a certain console added to my collection that we all know of. Thank you, Larry.
Sweet. A 32X?
No, I did not get that one.
Actually, do you have a 32X still? Your 32X?
I do not.
You do not? Okay, because someone did ask, the Unfun Gamer actually asked, because we didn't, when you went through your consoles last week, you did not mention 32X. So
I did not. I don't consider that a console. I consider it it's really an extension of the Genesis.
It's really a growth.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is. It's like, oh, what's wrong with your Genesis? Oh, it's got a 32X.
But you had it, right? You did have it.
I had it briefly.
That's what I remember.
Yeah, and I remember it was a Funko Land purchase, and I literally purchased it for one reason, because the WWF Royal Rumble game had an extra character in it. Raw. The Raw game had an extra character in it.
Of all extra characters.
It was Quang, wasn't it?
Quang, yes.
Yeah, so that was a waste of money.
Oh, poor Savio.
Sorry. But then after that, I didn't buy anything for it. There was no point to it.
Really? So. Oh, wow, okay.
Or at least for me. Like, I couldn't find anything else I wanted on it, so.
I remember you buying it. I don't remember you mentioning you returning it or anything, but obviously you did. Right.
That was during the trade-in phase.
No, I get it.
It's like, oh, it's really cool to trade in your games and
totally get it,
and buy them back 15 years later.
That's what we're doing.
That is what we're doing. Although I think I can say with confidence I've exceeded what I've ever traded in.
Oh, forget about it. Yeah,
absolutely. By a lot. But yeah, so that was the only thing I had was the 32X. But again, I mean, do you consider that a console? I don't think I do.
You know, it's funny when we were messaged it, I kind of sat there and thought to myself, is it a console? I think I even said maybe it's not a console because it is an add-on, but technically so is the Sega CD. But that's kind of a console. And plus, the 32X did have its own power supply.
So maybe you can. But it also. Well, I mean, I guess that's a debate you can have because the Sega 32X could not run without the Genesis.
Neither could the Sega CD.
But neither could the Sega CD. So
something to think about. Comments. Remember, wherever you listen to podcasts.
God damn it! Now I'm gonna have to go buy a 32X.
Those I'm sure are dirt cheap. The Poly Mega.
So I don't know how popular they were. So they may not be.
Oh no, you're not getting the Genesis add-on on the Poly Mega. But
no, I did not.
The CD portion will play 32X CD games, obviously without. Well, I don't want to say obviously, cool. But should be without the Genesis add-on,
which is awesome. Which, by the way, like we got those emails saying it was coming, and then dead silence.
So yesterday I got a box. Long story short, then we'll get because I want to hear about the system. I got a package delivered yesterday. I ordered something from Amazon, but I got this huge Walmart box. I was like, Walmart? I didn't order anything from Walmart. And then I'm like, are they shipping the Polymegas in Walmart boxes? Because you can order them from Walmart.
Right.
Even though mine and ours was pre-ordered from the Polymega. Mine was ordered from the Polymega site. It's like, maybe it's here. I open it up. No, it's just all the toilet paper I ordered.
Are you stocking up again?
No. I just buy in bulk.
Just normal.
Yeah, I don't even get me started on the bidet story I have. But be that as it may.
No. We're going to leave that there.
You can tune into the better half of that one.
I was just going to say that's a different podcast. We're not going there. So back to the Sega Master System.
Yeah, it's what you hooked up. All right.
Yes. So hooked it up. Was really excited to turn it on, and I hooked up the. What's your face for?
I don't know. I just want to hear good things about it.
Okay. Unfortunately, the Hyperkin HDMI adapter does not work.
Really? Okay.
No, I tried. I hooked it up, tried it, did not work, which was unfortunate. But I find strange because that adapter only works for a Master System, or does it?
No. It's specifically marketed for Genesis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it did not work for the it did not work for the Master System, unfortunately. But however, I can use it for my Genesis now if I want to. Unless it doesn't work. Well, it'll work on my Genesis, but not my JVC Xi. So
no, probably not on the JVC X.
Yeah. So basically, what I did was I used the AV cables and I plugged it in that way. And the games work great.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Which is good. Yeah, I played a little Hang On. I played a little bit of Ghostbusters. I did not try Miracle Warriors yet. So all works great, but the video part of the AV cable is not working correctly.
Okay.
So when it's plugged in, the colors on the screen fluctuate because I was playing Hang On and I'm like, are the colors in the background supposed to work like that? Because people would be having seizures right now. And then I put in Ghostbusters and I'm like, oh no, I think there's something up with the cables. So.
Did you, because I've had this mistake before, do you have a separate composite and component connectors on the back of your TV?
I do not, and actually, and this was the other thing, and that's why, like, the jury's not out on the cable yet because I hooked it in through my switch, the switch that I have, but like port switch thing or whatever. So I'm gonna try hooking it in directly to the TV to see if that fixes it because it could be the port that I'm plugging it into on my 4-channel switcher.
I was gonna say because if you plug a composite into a component, remember the yellow actually goes into the green.
To the green,
yeah,
yep. Nope, fully aware of that. So I still have to fiddle around with it to see. But otherwise, like the console itself works perfectly fine.
Okay.
And it's always nice to plug in, to put in a cartridge that's like over 30 years old and it powers on immediately.
This is true. The reason why I cringe and everything is because, mailed it to you. So if anything was wrong with it, money to mail back because they guarantee.
Look. Yeah. Full props to Game On. It's like everything I've ever gotten from them has worked perfectly. Never had an issue. They pack everything really well, and I'm actually really happy that they're willing to ship me things. You know what I mean? Because look, I'm nowhere near New York. Even when I was in LA, like they shipped me an Xbox.
They did, yeah.
because I had ordered it from, bought it from them. So they're really awesome with that. And I couldn't be more grateful for, how much they take care of their stuff when they pack it and everything. So has nothing to do with that. It's just, I got to fiddle around with the AV a little bit to see what's what.
And you know what? It's not as hard to come across an AV wire, cable. As opposed to having to reship the whole system. All right, good.
Yeah,
but
exactly. No.
Excited.
System's good. Very happy. Thank you very much for it. Looks great in my collection. You can actually see it right over my shoulder.
There it is. I see it. Yeah,
there it's sitting.
Yep.
And I actually spent a little, aside from the Master System, I spent a little time in this room last night for like the third time since I've completed it. I've completed this entire room and I've had no time to sit in it. And I wound up watching a movie.
There you go.
On my Xbox 360.
Actually,
and by the way, my apologies. I accidentally signed in as you last night. You're on my Xbox 360.
How am I more 365? Okay.
At some point in the past, you must have, we must have been playing on it. You logged in as yourself. So, and it saves everybody. So,
yeah, but it shouldn't save the password.
What can I tell you?
I gotta go change my whole thing now. I have this whole online persona.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I don't know what the password is.
Password.
What am I going to do? Sign in as you and complete games?
Maybe, or screw something up on an old game. Like, I'm going to mess him up on, I don't know, Knights of the Old Republic. No, it's too old. I don't know.
I was going to say, I don't think you need to worry about it. Let's just say that.
Fair enough.
I can't even play my own games.
Well, all right. Well, I'm happy to hear that the Master System is on its way to getting some good work on it.
Yes.
So that's good. Speaking of which, as far as systems, so really since it's been announced, I have obsessively, compulsively been on Amazon at least 5 times a day to check the availability of the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch.
Yes.
And I kid you not, literally multiple times a day, I go on there, I refresh, currently not available. They're not available anyway. They have not gone on sale, and I don't think they're going to pre-order it. The thing comes out next week on the 13th. And Nintendo has assured that they will continue to ship through March.
Okay.
But like a maniac, I used to go to their website 3 times a day probably. It's terrible. And it would say pre-order, more information to come. So I'm like, okay. And I keep clicking. And then finally one day it changed. And it just said pre-order something. Like, ooh, maybe something's coming up. But still not available anywhere.
Right.
Then it changed. Then it said, we will ship enough through March. I'm like, oh, maybe the pre-order is going to start. No, not yet. I got like 4 different sites where I'm signed in to where I'll get a notification once this thing goes on sale. I am so obsessed with this stupid little system. And I don't know why, but I just find myself constantly checking.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you always like those Game & Watches. So
I do. And, I feel like this is going to be kind of a collector's, even though it's going to continue till March. But I don't know why, like any other system or anything, I've never been so compulsively trying to find it, the pre-order to kick in. It's weird.
I just think that means, that's how badly you want it. That's all. Trust me, I did my share of checking constantly for the PS5 pre-orders.
Oh yeah, that's coming out.
It's coming out Thursday.
Oh yeah, 12th. Yeah. All right.
So, and I want to say the new Xbox is on Tuesday.
Something like that. Yeah, I lost track of all those. Yeah.
I think it's on the 10th. But for the PS5, even though they tell you, it's like, give us your email address and we'll tell you when. It's like, I never trust that. And you know what? And especially with the way Sony handled it. Sony did not handle the pre-orders the best.
Okay.
By the time I would have gotten an email saying it was available for pre-order, it would have been gone.
True. I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So like, I don't trust those. Hey, give us your name and we'll let you know. It's like, no, thank whatever. But yeah. So like, I understand that whole obsession for pre-orders. Yeah. But you just actually made me remember something about Game & Watch, because when I was in Japan multiple times, and I would go to Super Potato.
Yes.
they had a bunch of Game & Watches like in their case, and I would always look at them, and I was always like, I should just buy one to have it, you know? But even there, if I remember correctly, they were like and these are the original Game & Watches.
Yeah,
you know? I think they were all like $200.
Oh, the originals can go for a penny. Yeah.
Yeah, they really are pricey.
Yep.
So, and that was almost like, that was the same thing too when I saw they had I want to say an original Legend of Zelda Link to the Past never opened for like $500 American.
Wow. Factory sealed? Good Lord.
Factory sealed. It was like $500.
That's not bad.
Yeah. But still, it was one of those things where it's like, oh man, I want this. And then I'm like, no, I want to buy it. And then I'll just buy a bunch of stuff.
I want it now.
I did want it now. But I'm content with my Famicom and Super Famicom collection.
Yeah, no, you got a hell of a collection. Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty decent.
Speaking of collection, you know what? Let's talk about this real quick.
Sure.
Because we talked about it before. Then I think we talked about it before everything shut down. Then the world shut down, and we didn't know when they were going to announce the winners. And I kind of just randomly went on one time, and Viola, we have the announcement of the finalists and inductees of the 2020 Video Game Hall of Fame.
Very cool. All right. I'm going to say that every game is disease related.
Technically, one can carry a disease, I guess.
Oh.
So, I just real
Let's
quick.
hear it.
Yeah, real quick. I'll run through the list of who the nominees were. You know, we won't go into details. I'll just run through them. Really kind of in no particular order. Minecraft, King's Quest, Centipede, Super Smash Brothers Melee, Bejeweled, Frogger, GoldenEye 007, Guitar Hero, NBA Jam, Nokia Snake, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
That's a pretty good list.
Very good list. 4 made it in, and those 4 are...
Oh, they already announced who made it?
Oh, no, that's it. The finalists have been announced. Yeah, this is... the inductees, have been announced.
Oh, I had no idea. Wait a minute.
They did it back in June, actually.
Wait a minute. Did we miss this?
We talked about the nominees. But we never
went back for the
correct, because at the time, you know, we didn't know what was going on. So
the world was ending.
Yeah, but just randomly in June they did it, and it just something popped in my head. I'm like, oh, you know, let me take a look, see if they announced the date. Oh, they did one better. They announced the inductees.
Okay, well, who got in?
All right, so the class of 2020: Minecraft.
Okay.
King's Quest.
I love King's Quest when I played those.
Centipede.
Okay.
And Bejeweled.
All right. You know what's funny? For some odd reason, I thought Nokia Snake would have made it in.
I thought that and GoldenEye would have made it in.
I wasn't thinking GoldenEye. I was thinking Frogger.
Yeah, that's true. Frogger, too, yeah. But those are your 4 class of 2020. And, you know, a lot of these games are finalists, holdovers from prior years. So we may see these on the list for 2021.
Yeah, which is cool because, again, it's... it's interesting which ones get, like, Minecraft. I wouldn't think Minecraft would be...
Already, right?
Be ready to go in. But I guess you can't just weigh it on how old the game is. Obviously, it's how impactful the game is, and Minecraft is ridiculously impactful.
That's what, you know, and Minecraft is a holdover finalist from 2015.
How long has Minecraft been out?
Probably a little longer than... Well, here's the criteria. Again, it's 4 criteria to and anyone can nominate a game. If you go to worldvideogamehalloffame.org, the 4 criteria are icon status.
Okay.
The game is widely recognized and remembered.
Right.
Longevity. The game is more than a passing fad, has enjoyed popularity over time, which so far these games have. Graphical reach. The game meets the above criteria across international boundaries. And influence. The game has exerted significant influence on the design and development of the games, on other forms of entertainment, or on popular culture and society in general. And actually, a game may be inducted on the basis of this criterion without necessarily having met all of the first 3. So, yeah, so influence alone could get in. I was
going to say, I think influence alone would get it in. I mean, because I think longevity, I don't think it's been out that long.
No, not like... Oh, you know, okay. No, all right, that explains what the years are next to them. Minecraft came out in 2011.
Yeah, so I would think it wouldn't. For me, I don't think it would qualify for longevity at this point.
No, but it would definitely influence.
But influence, no question.
And to put it in perspective, King's Quest was 1984, Centipede was 81, and Bejeweled was 2001.
Did you ever play King's Quest?
No, I did not. I mean, I think recognize
it was mostly PC.
It was, yeah.
It was never PC, basically. Yeah.
I was never really a PC fan, but I do recognize the impact that King's Quest has.
Yeah, there were so many of them, and then they made almost like a Telltale one, kind of King's Quest.
Oh, did they? Oh,
yeah, there was
yes,
a recent
yes,
one.
or yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
those Telltale games are wild.
I've never played through any of them, and I have, I think, 2. I picked them up. I literally picked them up because I saw them at like Target or Walmart or something, and they were like $4. So I'm like, oh, it's like, let me grab these. I've never played them, so
there you go.
Yeah. But still haven't played them.
And so while I was looking into that, I also found out, and I'm not going to go into deep detail here, but they've been doing this for a while. The National Museum of Play up in Rochester, Rochester, New York, they're the ones that hold the World Video Game Hall of Fame. They also have the World Toy Hall, the National Toy Hall of Fame.
Ooh,
and
I like
they've
toys.
been doing this since 98, actually.
Huh.
Which I didn't, actually, it's a pretty interesting list. But just to mention 2020, 3, it's so weird. 3 went in, Baby Nancy,
Okay.
Jenga.
Oh, love Jenga.
And Sidewalk Chalk.
Huh.
I find that funny.
Interesting.
Sidewalk Chalk. I don't know why I find that funny.
I don't know. Well, I mean, do you remember?
No,
it's chalk on the sidewalk.
No, I do. I just like, no, it's funny. Like just Sidewalk Chalk. Like no specific brand, no particular, just Sidewalk Chalk.
Well, you know why? Because I'm sure like there were like hundreds of different brands.
Created in 1972 in a town in Italy.
Oh, hey, us Italians come through again.
You know what? Let me see. Are there any games on here? I'm just going to run through real quick. 2019.
First pasta, now Sidewalk Chalk.
2019 saw Magic the Gathering go in. 2018 saw Uno and Pinball.
Makes sense.
I'm just really cluing in on the games. 2017 Clue.
Oh, absolutely.
2016 Dungeons and Dragons.
All worthy.
Yeah, Rubik's Cube in 2014, chess in 2013, chess and rubber duck.
Those go together, I guess.
Playing cards and the Game of Life in 2010.
Cool.
Oh, the Game Boy went in 09.
See,
here we go. Now we're talking. The Atari 2600 went in 07.
I was going to say video games have to go in there because they are toys.
Definitely. Candyland in 05. Let's see. That's
Nintendo
pretty much.
Must have gone in there at some point.
Actually, no.
Really?
Monopoly went in 98 was the first year, and that saw Monopoly, amongst others. There's like a good handful,
of
but
course.
no Nintendo. In fact, the Atari 2600 really is the only
console
and Game Boy are the only 2 systems that are in this thing right now.
All right. Well,
All right,
so be it.
Well, something we'll keep an eye out on for future.
Yeah. I was like, maybe they just, because there's a video game Hall of Fame, maybe they don't harp too much on the video game aspect.
I guess not, because again, only 2 systems went in, but still.
Yeah.
All right,
I
cool.
like the fact that the one console that actually went in is the one that almost destroyed the industry.
Yeah, basically.
But hey, Atari had a huge influence before that happened.
Oh, forget about it. Forget about it.
Forget about it.
All right, so yeah, congratulations to the Video Game Hall of Fame class of 2020.
Yeah, very nice. I've already forgotten the ones you said. No,
It's all right.
Minecraft and Centipede. Those are the 2 I remembered.
And Bejeweled and King's Quest.
And King. Oh, of course. Duh.
So,
Cool.
yeah, so not too shabby. I wrote something down on here I wanted to talk about, and my handwriting is so atrocious, I can't even read what I wrote.
I can't even see the paper, and I can confirm that your handwriting is atrocious.
I mean, honestly.
Because I've seen it. What? That's not even English.
I don't. No, I mean, look, I wrote it quick, but I have an idea what I'm talking about, but I don't know what I said here.
No, I do, expert something.
Carpet cleaner? Maybe we need my carpet
cleaner. I don't know.
I don't know. All right, let me go.
I would say it's doctor's handwriting, but it's not even that.
No, trust me, I don't have that much education. All right, well,
You're lefty, right?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
We're all born left. Turn right after you commit your first sin.
Yeah, well, I turned right a long time ago.
All right, let's go over to this other one then. Arcade 1-Up
Yes.
is on a roll again. Actually, there's a couple of other things that we caught our eye before when we were checking out the site. But the one I want to talk about right now is their newest arcade cabinet. They kind of dropped out of nowhere. Outrun.
Yes. That not only was that surprising, but then when you look at it,
Yes.
it's even cooler.
So it is a sit-down arcade cabinet for Outrun. And, I mean, to the point, it's got the pedals. It's got a seat that's kind of pushed back a little bit. I think the dimensions might be a little smaller than usual on this arcade because of the fact that you pretty much, they want you to sit down.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say basically, I mean, they're all like smaller machines, so it would be, I would assume it would be smaller.
But yeah, and then just with the riser, and this is like maybe like their second or third sit down cabinet. They've done this with Star Wars.
Yep.
They might have done it with one other one. I don't remember. Maybe it's two then. But this thing looks pretty sweet, and the games that are on it are Outrun, Turbo Outrun, which I've never heard of, Outrunners, which I think I've heard of. And Power Drift. So obviously all driving games.
Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, if you got the pedals and everything.
Yeah. So this thing looks pretty cool. Yeah.
You know what I would have loved on it? Super Sprint. I loved Super
That would have
Sprint.
been wild.
I used to play that all the time.
Just spinning that thing.
I used to play that all the time at the pizzeria.
Oh, Prontos?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. It's about 45 inches high, 38. The arcade the arcade cabinet's normal size for them. About 45 inches high. Then the dimensions 38.5 by 19 by 18. Yeah, this thing looks really, really cool. And it's sold out right now, so I can't even tell you how much it's going to be. But the more of these that come out, man, it's really just not a matter of if, but a matter of which and when.
Yeah, every time I see Arcade 1-Up, I'm just so tempted, and I'm like, "Ooh!" I go, "Is that going to be the one?" And now, granted, I have the little Pac-Man bar top one from my ex coworkers, which was awesome. So I have one of them. But that's the other thing too. It's like looking at my house. It's like, yeah, I can buy one and put it in here, and I have the space to put it. It's like, but the question is always going to be like, will I play it? That's the most important question.
And I think I have a spot for it, even if I don't have to move anything. I have a spot right on the wall here, right behind the camera. I think it would be perfect. As soon as you open the door, you walk right into it. Yeah.
See, and my game room is kind of full, but I can definitely make a space for one, no question.
That's what I was. All right, now I figured out what the gibberish was. We'll get to that in a second. Almost. The other thing though that caught our eye when we went to Arcade 1-Up to look at Outrun is the Atari Mini Pong Junior.
Yes. Again, like, just one of those things where it's like, oh, okay. I go, they're just making stuff now.
It's basically, it is what it is. It's a standalone Pong game. You can call it a handheld, I guess, really. And it's got, dials on either side for 2-player action, which clearly was designed before social distancing was a thing. But if you're there with trusted friends and family, this little game looks like a fun time.
Yeah, it's about 12 inches long.
Yep.
So it's 5 feet short of social distancing. So make sure whoever you play it with is somebody already close enough.
But yeah, this thing looks really sweet. Officially done by Atari, made by Uni, if I'm pronouncing that correct. Unis. Yeah, it's a cute little item, and again, I'm not seeing a price, but it takes 3 AA batteries, so you envision maybe how small this thing is. 10 different level settings. So if you for like a 1-player. Let's see. That's really about it. Oh, it does come with a power adapter, it looks like.
Cool.
So something to look out for, this little kind of mini Pong system, which is pretty cool. And that triggers something else that I kind of meant to mention last week, but there's another, which I never really discovered, but it's a company called New Wave Toys.
That, it was funny. I was gonna bring that up. Is that what that said on the notepad?
No. It's Capcom
okay,
Home Arcade, which
like,
I'll get to.
I was like, thank God. All right. Anyway, New Wave Toys. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to the website real quick. So newwavetoys.com puts out these, I don't even want to call them a quarter scale. I think they're even tinier than that. I'm trying to get the dimensions. But we kind of came across them because, Ant, they have a really cool USB charger that you've always...
Yeah, and I'm going to pull the trigger on it soon, I think. But it's basically it's the change machine for like at arcades that you would get. You would put in your money and get quarters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about like, it's like a 1/6 scale of that or something.
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
It's 1/6 scale, and you can plug in it has 6 different USB ports. So ideally, like, this is perfect if you have a lot of the mini consoles.
Yep.
Like, you can plug in all your mini consoles into that to keep them charged.
That would be interesting. Yeah. Got to make sure that output is correct, though. But yeah, that sounds like actually a really good idea.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why I want to buy it, because I'm like, I'll just plug in all my mini consoles to it and I'm done.
So they have these arcade cabinets. They're 1/6 size, as you said, miniaturized 1/6 scale of different playable games. And the games are Dragon's Lair, which they just put on pre-order.
Ooh, cool.
Asteroids.
Nice.
And it's wild because it's so tiny. Like, the buttons are tiny too. It's like, how do you
play?
How do you get in if they're so tiny? I never saw Zoolander. They also have, oh, come on, where's the list? Here we go. Centipede, newest inductee, we just talked about.
Nice.
Street Fighter 2.
I could never play that on that small scale.
Well, they have something else for that. I'll talk about in a moment. What is that? Tempest? Yeah, Tempest.
Oh, Tempest. Nice.
And I'm pretty sure there was another one. I'm just trying to... No, I guess not. So Dragon's Lair, Asteroids, Street Fighter 2, Tempest, and I think that's it on that. So,
cool.
Yeah, and with to answer your question, the Street Fighter 2, you can buy separate, which are still mini, but separate external controllers that look like the base controller. You know what I mean? Whatever you call that, the layout. And then that's how you can play 2 players actually on the system.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
I think these things also hook up through USB, not USB, HDMI. You might be able to get them onto your TV.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that one. But still, these things are real, and they're like $120, which really isn't that bad for something like this. That works.
No, not at all.
And like, for example, the Dragon's Lair comes with a little mini laser disc player with remote. I mean, it doesn't work, but like a replica laser disc and an actual laser disc with a sleeve that you can put in it. So,
nice.
And I don't think you can put it in the machine, which would be pretty funny. But, it has like little things like that. On top of the, as you mentioned, Ant, the USB charger. They also have a USB. No, it's a power bank. Oh, they have a Walkman style power bank.
Ooh, okay.
So if you need to charge on the go. Nice. And then what caught my eye, and you know what, it was an honest mistake. They've emailed me. They're rectifying it. I thought it was pretty funny. So what I did, I went to the website and I ordered. They have a keychain. It's very inexpensive. It's a keychain that looks like the 25-cent quarter slot on an arcade machine.
Yes.
It's red. It actually does light up, and so I'm like, oh, that's cute. Let me get one. I had a discount code or whatever, so I order it. All right, cool. Ships. I get it on Halloween. I'm like, ah, cool. Bring it in. It's all sealed up. Oh, sweet. I open it up. I was going to kind of do like a mini unboxing, which right now I wish I did do, because in hindsight it would have been very funny. I open up the box, and the way they ship it, they like custom cut out in the box the shape of the item. So that way it fits perfectly. So I open up the box. There was nothing in it. It was bare bone empty. Like, the cutout was in there, but someone forgot to put the item in. So I emailed them.
That sounds like a familiar... Yep. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
That's happened to you?
No, that's happened to you when I mailed you your watch, your Mario watch from Japan.
Oh, almost. No, someone actually broke in and stole the watch.
Yes.
This was still factory sealed.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about that watch.
Yeah, no, I didn't forget about it. It pissed me off because I'm like, they broke in and just took that.
They didn't even take the box.
I know.
Take the whole thing.
It just made no sense.
That post office was terrible by you.
God, I hated it.
It took forever to get my dirty clothes home.
I remember that.
Yes.
I also remember when my mom shipped me birthday gifts. Not birthday, Christmas gifts. She sent me a box of Christmas gifts. It made it all the way to that post office. And then they opened it, stole the gift cards out of the box. And then they closed it and returned it to her instead of bringing it the 10 minutes it would have taken to get to my house.
And that's why
they shipped it all the way back to New York.
That's why we're here a week later. Anyway, so I email them and I take a picture of it and I'm like, and I think I actually wrote, oh, this is a pretty interesting trick. I'd rather have a treat though on Halloween. And they wrote back admittedly like, oh, I hope you enjoyed our trick, but we apologize and we immediately shipping out another one and stuff. So they were very cool about it.
That's good.
And I haven't gotten it yet, but it should be here any day now. But it was pretty, because I'm like, oh, this is going to be cool. Open it up and I'm like, huh? Like I'm looking through, making sure it didn't fall out or something.
But that's just so you.
It really is. And then really the only other thing as far as mail, I think I talked about it before. I think I even showed it. It's a company called Virtual Run. And they do virtual marathons. 5K, 10K.
Yep.
Stuff that I normally would not do. But I ordered you could order the medal, and granted, basically they just ship it to you. So it's kind of like the honor system that you complete the thing. So, and I did it. And I remember when I finally did the 5K, which is like 3 point something miles. You can run it. You can walk it. You can do it on a treadmill.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of it. So I did, and I opened up the package when it was an NES controller. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not really going to take this out. I'm not going to display it until I actually do it. And they send you like one of those things that you put on, like the number, which is pretty funny. So I went out, I did, it's like from here to the train station and back, it's pretty much 5K. And I did it. And look, again, a lot of people out there do this every day. And I know you can probably walk a 5K with no problem whatsoever. For me, though, I actually got very emotional. And it's on my YouTube page, I think, as well, More 365, cheap plug. And, but I was very emotional when I did it. Like, it meant a lot to me. Look, and I'm not a fitness guru, and trust me, since then, shame on me, I haven't stayed with trying to make myself better, but I still enjoyed that moment. So what I did was, they have different topics, or different what's the word I'm looking for? Not categories. Designs. And they have a bunch of video game ones. So I ordered, and I ordered 3 more. Nice. And I got them, but I haven't even opened up the packaging yet. So my goal is to only open one once I do another 5K. And then I can revel and enjoy in it, and hopefully it kickstarts my stupid fat butt into gear. We'll see what happens. But it's cool. All I know is that one of them is a PlayStation controller, one of them should be a Game Boy, and the other one is a Bullet Bill.
Yeah, I've seen they pop up on my feed all the time too, and I've been thinking about buying those. I did something similar. I bought a medal online for it was a Friday the 13K.
Awesome,
which I thought was awesome. And at the time I had told myself, I'm like, okay, I was like, this was after I had run the marathon like months and months later, and I had slowed down on my running, and I'm like, a 13K is 8 miles.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll get back to this eventually when I start training and everything like that. And then got a hernia and all this other stuff. So needless to say, it took me, I think, about a year and a half before I was actually able to do an 8-mile run again. And I had done it a few months ago before I moved from LA, because I was training for the New York City Marathon. I got into the New York City Marathon this year. And so I started training back in February. I was like, let me start early so I can get my wind up and everything like that. And then the pandemic hit and all that stuff. But I was still training, even though they didn't cancel the marathon until I think June. Okay. May or June.
I thought I saw a commercial for it.
They were offering the ability to do virtual ones if you wanted to, but I chose to re-enter for next year.
Fair enough.
So, but anyway, so I was, so as I was training, I finally did 8 miles. I had gotten up to 8 miles, and I was so happy because literally for a year and a half, I kept this thing in the plastic bag it came in. It was literally, I kept it in the same place like where I put my mail, and I'm like, as soon as I do this, I will take it out and I will hang it up with the rest of my medals. So I did the same exact thing. And I encourage you. It's like, look, video game related, whatever it is that gets you motivated to do it, do it. It's awesome. I was looking at those video game ones, and I'll probably wind up picking up one or two.
Yeah, I think they even have like you can buy them in bulk, like in a group.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I have a treadmill in my house, but now the weather is starting to cool here a bit. So like in the mornings, like as soon as it drops below 70 in the mornings, I'll start running outside again.
Yeah.
So because I do like running outside.
I hate running, period. But luckily I can walk it.
I was gonna say, look, and a lot of people do. I was not a runner for, running was never my thing until 4 years ago. Stupid Infinity Gauntlet challenge.
Awesome.
But I got the medal.
There you go. That's all that matters. Trying to snap it. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like, well, no, it's like every time I snap, like, half of things do disappear, but never what I want. It's like I want like half of my gut to disappear. Nope, doesn't happen. It's like, come on.
It'd take me a few snaps.
I'm snapping wrong. I think I'm adding 50% to everything.
Don't even get me started, brother. At least for me. And other than that, all that's basically about all I have. Also because I'm looking at my battery on my computer and it's starting to run low.
Yeah. Well, no, that's okay. I think I've covered everything that I have to cover as well for this week. But next week, we are going to talk some PS5.
Yes, we're going to talk PS5, definitely. Very curious. My biggest curiosity is, because I'm assuming that's a 4K TV behind you, and the one in your living room?
This one might not be, but the one in my living room is.
Definitely want to know what it's going to look like. Want to know how it is to set it up. I'm also curious about how the free upgradable games are going to look, and how, if it's a pain in the butt or anything for the physical copies, because those would be converted to digital. So definitely have some questions about that. Looking forward to that part. And next week's going to be a good one. And in the meantime, Ant, where can they find us now?
Right now, you guys can find us on Facebook.com/RetroGamersPodcast, on Instagram @RetroGamersPodcast, Twitter @RetroGamersPod. You can watch us on YouTube, or you can watch us on YouTube, and you can watch us on Instagram TV. That's new. Yeah. Or you can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We are everywhere.
Remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share. The biggest one is share. Let your friends, let your family know about us. And we're gonna we're gonna do a little cheap plug, because Ant, you're actually gonna be on a different podcast here next week.
Yeah, next week. No,
this week.
Yes, I'm going to be on Victims and Villains for their special Friday the 13th episode. I have been on the last 4 Friday the 13th episodes, because every Friday the 13th, we review a Friday the 13th movie. This is number 5, so we are reviewing Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning.
Any preview to your thoughts on the movie?
It sucks.
All right, yeah, it stinks. There we go, MST3K. All right, so tune into that one. Should drop on Friday the 13th, so definitely check them out. And Ant, in the meantime, have a wonderful week.
You do the same.
And we will catch you everywhere next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.